Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're diving into something pretty intense that unfolded really fast. We're talking about the Kathmandu uprising, September 8th and 9th, 2025. Our goal here is to understand how a government banning social media basically ignited these massive, deadly protests in Nepal. And, what this tells us about digital freedom, politics, corruption, especially with younger generations. It feels like a big warning sign.
It really is striking how quickly a digital policy decision just exploded in the real world. The immediate trigger, as you said, was the government suddenly banning 26 social media sites. We're talking the big ones: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, WhatsApp, things people use every single day.
Right. That's not just like turning off a tap. It's cutting a major communication line for, everyone, but especially young people, right?
Right.
The official reason was fighting misinformation, fraud, hate speech. They even mentioned a court directive. But for many, especially, Gen Z Nepalese, it felt like a direct hit. Like the government was trying to shut them up, control what they could see and say online.
Exactly. And that's key. The ban wasn't really the root cause, more like the match that lit the fuse. The kindling was already there. Years of frustration building up over systemic corruption, nepotism. It was really blatant.
Yeah, the whole Nepo kids phenomenon. I remember seeing stuff about that.
Precisely. Before the ban, especially in places like TikTok, you had these viral campaigns, videos, posts, just relentlessly showing the children of politicians living these incredibly lavish lives, flaunting wealth while so many young people couldn't find jobs, were dealing with rising costs. It was stark. One video, I think, showed a minister's son in a fancy sports car driving through a really poor area. That kind of image just crystallized the anger.
So these platforms, they weren't just for sharing memes then. They were the main stage for voicing that frustration. Maybe the only stage for some.
Yeah.
A whole generation feeling stuck seeing this inequality, and then the government just pulls the plug on their main way to even talk about it.
That's exactly it. It felt like a profound betrayal. Their digital town square, their megaphone, gone. It took away their ability to connect, to organize, to even just vent their anger collectively. The pressure just had nowhere else to go.
And it didn't just stay online or dissipate. It spilled onto the streets violently. That's where it gets really intense. September 8th, thousands gather in Kathmandu, lots of them kids, really young, still in school uniforms apparently. Things turned ugly fast. Clashes with police, tear gas, rubber bullets, water cannons.
And human rights groups reported live ammunition being used too. It was chaotic and brutal. The numbers are grim. At least 19 dead, over 300 injured in just, 2 days?
Just staggering. And the protesters weren't just facing off against police lines. They stormed the parliament building, set it on fire. They even went after the homes of government ministers. It shows, just the level of fury.
It really does. The scale, the speed of it all. It speaks volumes about that pent-up anger. And the immediate fallout was huge. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, other officials, they resigned. And the social media ban lifted. The pressure was just too immense.
Okay, so ban lifted, PM resigns.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Well, no. And this is crucial. The protests didn't stop. Lifting the ban wasn't enough anymore. It sort of opened the floodgates. The demands evolved. People started calling for real systemic change, even for the entire government to be dissolved. It went from give us back our platforms to we need a whole new system.
Right. So the spark was digital, but the fire quickly became about much deeper societal issues.
Right.
Which makes this Kathmandu story more than just a local event, doesn't it? It feels like a microcosm, something we're seeing hints of elsewhere.
Absolutely. It's a powerful case study. As governments all over the world grapple with how to, regulate the internet, control information, this is a stark reminder. You have a generation that grew up online. Their entire social and political lives are intertwined with these platforms. Trying to just switch them off, especially when there's already deep discontent, it can backfire spectacularly, swiftly, chaotically, and tragically.
It really sends a message to anyone thinking a simple ban is the answer. So it leaves us, and you listening, with a pretty big question, I think. How do governments navigate this? These demands for digital freedom, for transparency, especially from young people, when it's all tangled up with anger about corruption, about inequality.
Yeah, what happens when the main place people organize and express dissent is online, and then that space is suddenly threatened or removed? What does that mean for stability, for change?
Definitely something to think about. What does this all mean for the future, where digital spaces and real-world politics are so, inseparable? Food for thought.